After Mia finished enjoying a bath, Rafina mentioned an upcoming entrance party, triggering a memory of being left without a dance partner in a previous timeline. Determined not to repeat the embarrassment, Mia decided to be proactive and target Abel Remno, the second Prince of Remno, as her potential partner. She devised a plan with Anne to drop a handkerchief in front of Abel to catch his attention. However, Abel got distracted by another girl, and Prince Sion picked up the handkerchief. To Mia's dismay, Sion then asked her to be his dance partner, leaving her frustrated and confused. What should I do? How do I get myself out of this mess?
Mia's thoughts were in chaos. If she were to become Sion's dance partner, she would establish the biggest connection of them all. If the relationship deepened, it would be just a matter of time before a mistake happened, opening the doors for the three-step process. Revolution, Sunkling's involvement, hot date with Guillotine-kun. That was bad. In fact, it was as bad as it could get. However, if she refuses at this point, Sion's impression of her would worsen. Furthermore, lying and telling she already has a dance partner would make it nearly impossible to find a partner before the event. No one would be stupid enough to invite the imperial princess who refused Prince Sion. With her back against the wall and the ceiling about to collapse, Mia frantically searched for a way out. Like a tiny mouse stuck on a sinking ship, she kicked all her senses into overdrive, trying to find something, anything, that would give her a chance to survive. Just then, at the edge of Mia's field of vision, an unthinkable scene came into view. Abel, the handkerchief-resistant prince, was being led into the back of a building by a senior student. Judging by the brief glimpse she got of their expressions, the ensuing interaction wasn't going to be pleasant. Mia's spidey mousy sense tingled.
Looks like this is my chance.
The troubling sight gave her the perfect excuse to flee the scene.
Huh? What is going on in there?
Sion turned in the same direction. He seemed to have noticed as well. Before he could get another word out, he heard a series of rapid footsteps.
Excuse me for a moment.
Sion turned just in time to see Mia's profile as she streamed straight past him.
What were you doing back there?
Brother, I was looking for a dance part. Abel's answer was cut short by a fist slamming into his face.
What a barbaric person. If he's Prince Abel's brother, he should be Cain, the first prince, right?
Thought Mia as she watched from the shadows.
You wimpy piece of... always bending over to suck up to women. If you got a shred of pride left as a Remno, train your sword skills instead. Then the woman will come to you.
He looked down at Abel condescendingly.
Then again, it doesn't matter how pathetic you appear and how much you try to lick their boots. A loser like you will get a worthless woman at best. Well, that's a rather twisted view of things. I would consider it basic manners to approach girls who look like they're in need of help.
After mentally giving Cain's behavior a stamp of disapproval, Mia spoke up.
What seems to be the matter here?
Abel and his brother looked surprised at Mia's sudden appearance.
Who are you supposed to be? We're busy right now, little girl. Oh, but you don't need to worry about it. It is just a quarrel between brothers. So, why don't you go over there quietly?
Cain drew his face close and looked straight into Mia's eyes. While it was good practice to look directly at people when speaking to them, there was nothing benign about the way he was glaring at her. It wasn't an attempt at communication, it was just blatant intimidation. Mia, on the other hand...
My, what a naughty young boy.
It bears repeating that on the inside, Mia is over 20 years old. Even though she spent 3 years in prison, she was still an adult. A mentally immature one, but still an adult. Moreover, she was the target of the anger and bloodlust of the Revolutionary Army. She had been threatened and condemned. She even had swords pointing at her neck as she faced the murderous rage of violent rebels. In other words, she'd seen some Cain's words, on the other hand, were literal child's play. He is a prince raised in a greenhouse, regardless of how much he tries to look intimidating. And even though he is the first prince, the kingdom of Remno is still inferior to the Tearmoon Empire.
There is no need to be afraid of him.
Mia let her laughter escape a little.
What is so funny? Oh my, how rude of me. I do apologize. However, could you keep your hands away from him, please? I would very much prefer to keep my dance partner's face in good condition.
Then, without a hint of hesitation, she walked right up to Abel. Finding that he had a small cut on his lip, she gently pressed a pristine white handkerchief on his mouth while smiling at him.
Well, I do hope you realize, Prince Abel, That this all happened because you keep flirting with other girls when you've already asked me to be your dance partner.
Eh? Abel's jaw hit the ground. Mia allowed it to remain there, choosing instead to curtsy shallowly at Cain with a dazzling smile.
This is our first time meeting, First Prince of the Kingdom of Remno. It is a pleasure to meet you. I'm the first princess of the Tearmoon Empire, Mia Luna Tearmoon. I am the worthless woman who accepted Abel's invitation.
Abel Remno knew he was a second-class loser. The Kingdom of Remno was also a second-rate country. They don't have history and prestige like the Kingdom of Suncland. They don't have the sheer power of a big nation like the Tearmoon Empire. They don't have the influence and respect of the surrounding countries like the Principality of Beluga. Having none of that to rely on, they are barely able to compete with the top countries around by strengthening their military power. Therefore, all men of Remno polish their sword skills and compete for honor. A member of the royal family, like Abel, was no exception and was taught swordsmanship rigorously from an early age. As a direct descendant of the king, he was always told he should be the best. However, he had never been able to win against his older brother, the first prince, not even once. Still, he didn't give up. He worked hard, striving to beat his brother and be the very best. And then he found out. An entirely different level of talent exists in this world. A level impossible to reach, no matter how much effort and hard work he puts in. It was when he visited the kingdom of Suncland and saw the swordsmanship of Sion Sol Suncland. It was a terrifying sight. A level of skill that could overwhelm even the knights of the kingdom. Disregarding the weight and reach difference, one by one, he completely overpowered his sparring opponents, who were all adults. The owner of such unbelievable natural talent was so strong that he couldn't even be compared with Abel's older brother, who he was never able to defeat. And he was just a boy, the same age as Abel himself. When Abel learned that the boy was the first prince of the prestigious kingdom of Suncland, something broke inside of him. Ah, so it is true there are people who are chosen by God. No matter how hard I try, I won't be able to reach that point. Second rate is all I can be. When thinking like that, the thought of trying his best became ridiculous. What was even the point? Why suffer the hardship? Why endure the pain? There was no need. Fortunately, he was blessed with his mother's looks. The Kingdom of Remno was a country with a strong tendency of placing men above women, so if he gave them a little bit of kindness, he would be pampered. His maids, for example, loved him. And so, Abel was supposed to follow the fate of the second-rate playboy prince and take dozens of concubines during his life. Or so he should have, had she not appeared before him in all her glory, the princess of the Tearmoon Empire, Mia Luna Tearmoon. A wise woman, the first daughter of a powerful empire, and considered by some as a saint. She has completely smashed Abel's frivolous and decadent future. In a bright voice that carried to every student in the courtyard, she declared him to be her dance partner.
That is why, Prince Sion, I am truly sorry, but I cannot accept your generous invitation.
Abel could hardly believe what he heard. The man chosen by God to be first-rate royalty in every sense, Sion Sol Suckland, had asked her to the dance. And she turned him down just like that. Son of a sword seller, you've got to be kidding me. Abel panicked. This shouldn't be happening. No matter how generous an opinion one held of him, he was not a suitable match for Princess Mia. It was obvious to everyone, especially him. After the commotion settled, he hurried over to Mia. Princess Mia, I know you saved me back there, and I'm deeply grateful for that, but you can stop now. Please accept Prince Sion as your partner to the dance party.
My, what is this? Do you wish to embarrass me in front of my peers by rejecting me?
No, not at all. What's the point of dancing with me? You are far too good to be wasted on me.
Improve then. Better yourself, so I'm not wasted on you.
What? But words failed him. Abel opened his mouth wide and stood there with a blank expression for a few seconds. Then, as his expression grew in pain, he said, I can't. I'm sorry, Princess Mia. I don't have the talent. No matter how hard I try, I can't even defeat my brother, let alone Prince Sion. His words seemed to be cutting him from the insides as they came out. The words filled with long repressed emotions, frustrations, disappointment, grief and regret, Those were the true feelings that he kept hidden from everyone. Everyone except himself. How could he? Who but him would know his own anguish, the dark despair of trying and trying and trying, only to fail? Yet faced with his dejection, Mia chose to smile.
For now, right? You're the match for them, for now, right?
Eh?
Perhaps you feel unworthy of me today. And perhaps that's true. If you can match them today, you can match them tomorrow. And if you can match them tomorrow, you can match them the day after. No human knows where diligence and effort will lead them to. Who is to say that? That at the end of your life, you won't stand toe-to-toe with Prince Sion, if not above him. No one knows what the future holds, Prince Abel. Not you, not him, and certainly not me.
Then Mia paused for a beat and gently closed her eyes.
If I may, I will vouch for you. I have chosen you as my dance partner. It is totally impossible that you won't be able to stand against Prince Sion, and let's not even talk about that brother of yours. I, Mia Luna Tearmoon, guarantee you that.
These words resonated with Abel's soul like a thunderstrike.
Well, that should do it for the pep talk. I need Prince Abel to step it up. After all, if I need him to send reinforcement in case of emergency, his actions shouldn't be restricted by that dumb brother of his. Ho 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 ho! I can't believe how good it felt to reject Prince Sion in public. He deserves it.
As usual, Her Highness was as petty as ever on the inside. Regardless of her true intentions, Abel Remno's fate began to change drastically from that day onwards. Oh, you've been brilliantly rejected, my lord. I have to say though, I didn't see that coming. Rejecting you? Huh? That princess is not bad at all. A shame that you missed out on this opportunity to deepen your friendship with the princess. Still, this is hardly the only chance you have. Well, what's this? Keithwood felt somewhat uncomfortable. His master, Sion, who had been training his moderation and self-control since childhood as a member of the royal family, had a rare, moody face. No, rather than moody, it is more like a sulky face. Don't tell me you got hurt because she refused your dance invitation.
Of course not.
Sion showed a smile, but the smile was a little stiff.
Her actions were admirable, and she helped Prince Abel uphold his honor. The first Prince of Remno doesn't have the best character, so it makes sense she would support Prince Abel.
Yeah. Now if you could only sound like you mean it, that would be great. It is like you're trying to convince yourself. Keithwood's feelings for Sion, who is 4 years younger than him, can be described in a single word. He has respect for him as his master. He swore his loyalty to him as the king's son. And he loves his childhood friend with whom he grew up with. And now, he feels a burning desire to tease him, like an older brother who wants to make fun of his younger sibling.
Besides, I was the one who invited her. She has the right to accept or to refuse.
Say what you want, but aren't you all down and gloomy?
I'm not gloomy.
Keithwood was a little astonished by the childish objection.
I'm just a tad disappointed. But I'm not upset, okay?
Sion forced his lips closed after saying this. Keithwood, both eyebrows now fully raised, regarded the pout on his prince's face. It is unusual for His Highness to get so worked up about anything. Normally, when Keithwood teases him, he just calmly dismisses it. Maybe he's starting to feel more than just small curiosity. Keithwood could read Sion very well, even the things Sion himself wasn't aware of. He knew what he was feeling now was not too dissimilar to the feelings of a boy who was treated coldly by the girl he's interested in. So that's Princess Mia, huh? Mia's response surprised Keithwood as well. From his perspective, Abel didn't have a single winning point over Sion. Indeed, he didn't look bad. He had a nice appearance and his behavior was good at first glance. Once school starts, he will become rather popular. But that's it. As Keithwood saw it, Abel's charm was very superficial. A pretense, so to speak. A person who is deceived by such charm isn't worth of consideration. That would be the case, but the problem is, he's up against Prince Sion. That's right, if you compare Abel and Sion, even if you limit the comparisons to the surface level, Sion is still superior. Prince Sion, sole succulent, was the real deal. capable to charm anyone, whether they were deceived by princes or wise enough to see the essence. And even then, Mia still chose Abel to be her dance partner, refusing the right to be Sion's partner. And that is in spite of the fact that Abel himself tried to make her reconsider. To protect Prince Abel's honor? I suppose that makes sense, but Keithwood couldn't help but feel there was another reason. The words she spoke at that time seemed like she was encouraging him. Is it possible that Her Highness can see qualities in Prince Abel that I can't? She was. After all, Mia is said to be the great wisdom of the Empire. She probably knew what she was doing. Is she a saint whose caring heart can't take seeing her partner's honor being hurt? Or maybe a tactician whose every move is calculated and part of a greater scheme? Keithwood smiled bitterly, remembering Mia's face. Or maybe she was just teasing His Highness Sion. The smile on her face was less saint and more like a little devil. I never thought there would be a little devil who could play with His Highness on the palm of her hands. It would be a little later that Keithwood would learn of Mia's true intentions, of what he believed were her intentions. The experience will shake him to the core, for he would witness firsthand what he thought was the reason of why Mia was known as the wisdom of the Empire. But that is a different story for later episodes. For now, only one thing was certain. Unbeknownst to Mia, she has acquired another title, the Little Devil.
This is it for this video. We will continue with the story of the Guillotine Princess in the next episode. This was Brian and Marco from Jobless Weaves. Matanem!